This video is the first of a series on plan reading, specifically cover sheets and how to read the cover sheet of a plan set. So what we'll do is we'll go through each section and explain what you're going to see in a cover sheet on a plan detail. And this is actually the first page that you'll have on a plan detail set. And it's important that you start here, starting at the first page of a book, so to speak. So when you get into different sections or details in the plan, you can actually determine what the symbols mean, what an abbreviation might mean. You can also look at square footages and the adopted codes of that jurisdiction. Okay, so first of all, if you look at it, it shows that we have a 2-story wood frame, single-family residence with a walkout basement and attached 3-car garage. And then also the blurred out area would be the lot number and the location of this build. So here in this right-hand margin, if I make it a little bit larger, you're going to see it's issued for building permit. It might say the town or jurisdiction that it's in, and then it's going to give you a date. Over here, it's going to tell you what the date of the issuance was. So this is something that's important to be able to identify that it's on the right build date, also that it was issued for permit, and then it will also give you any revisions or other submittals that would be listed here. Then over here would be the architect's name and a project number for that architect, and then a project date. And again, some information by the design professional. And a very important item on the plan is that you see the stamp or the seal of the design professional, whether it's an architect or an engineer. You want to be able to see some type of a stamp, and they're also going to have their license number on there. And then this is, again, some more information by the architect right here. And then the drawing sheet number will be here. So this is A0.0. So it's the cover sheet's the first sheet. And if we move over here just quickly, you can see that all the architectural drawing sheets are going to have a number on them. So as I said, this one's A0.0, and it's telling you that it is the cover sheet, and it talks about different things that are going to be on that cover sheet. But we'll get to this section also. But I just want to show you that this is where you're going to see all the different details, the specific details. So if you need to go to a specific detail, this is where you'll look, and you can go to that detail and find that sheet within the plan set. Okay, so if we just move down in the cover sheet a little bit, and I'll make these larger, we'll just go over each section from left to right. So on the abbreviations section, this is where you're going to see different, obviously, abbreviations. So if you look at it, starting at the very top, AFF, above finished floor. So these are little notations or abbreviations that you're going to find throughout the plan. Not all of them, but these are just general abbreviations that they give you on a plan set. But as an example, gypboard, gypsum, or drywall, that would be something that you see on a plan detail. So if you come to an abbreviation in the plan detail and you're not sure what it is, you can refer back to the cover sheet in the table and figure out what that is. Moving over to the zoning, you're going to see that it's going to show you how the property was zoned. So they're telling you it's zoned R2 low density residential, and its proposed use is a detached single family residence. The zoning analysis is typically something that's going to be in the plan development stage. So when they're submitting the plan for review to the building department, this is something that they're going to have to meet these minimums. So they have different requirements that they have to meet. And then this just shows that they are meeting those requirements. But also it's something for the builder to realize, like as an example, the side yard setback is required a 6 feet side yard setback. So that means that their build cannot encroach on that 6 feet minimum setback. So these minimums are something that are going to also be required to be met in order for them to get a certificate of occupancy. Okay, if we continue moving across the page to the right, then we come to symbols. And again, these are symbols that you'll find on the plan detail. So simple ones like north arrow, but it's going to give you cold water lines, hot water lines, gas lines. It's going to give you section details. So it's telling you what drawing number it is, what section it is in this particular symbol that you get here. You're going to get wall section, so you'll see this on a wall section. And again, it'll tell you the drawing number and the sheet number you can refer to for that wall section. Plan notes, you might also see like electrical symbols here or other symbols like that, depending on how the architect drew it up. But these are different symbols that you might find in the plan detail. And again, if you don't understand something, then you can come back to the cover sheet and look to see what that detail or what that symbol actually is. Now, just below that is something that's very important. And oftentimes this is something that's overlooked. These are the codes that the building was designed under, and these are the applicable codes of this town, of this governing body. So these are the codes that as an inspector, we're going to be looking at to make sure that you meet these minimum requirements in these different code sections. And also it's something that the subs and all the trades are going to have to build this particular build under. It is surprising how sometimes we'll go on an inspection and, as an example, the electrician might not be building it under the particular code that the plan was designed under. So obviously, under the 2008 National Electric Code, there's going to be quite a difference if this was the 2023 National Electric Code. Things like arc faults, GFCIs, those things have changed quite a bit since 2008. So it's important, and it can be beneficial for the contractor to look at these codes because it may be beneficial in saving them some money. And also it'll reduce the chance of confusion or getting a red sticker because you didn't follow the code that the building was designed under. And then under that, you just have some other information that the architect may put on there. And this one's just stating that everything has to be done according to the codes above and any kind of a local amendment. And also certificate of occupancy has to be applied for and obtained prior to the occupancy of a building. And then there's some other information, including the architect's signature and his license number and different things that the architect puts in there. And again, this is kind of general information. It may look a little bit different, but the cover sheet is the sheet that you want to go to start looking at or understanding what are in the details that follow. Okay, moving back to the left of the page again, then we're at the drawing sheet index. So every drawing, and I'll make this a little bit larger, every drawing is going to have a number. So the cover sheet is A0.0. And then if you were to look at other notes or the foundation plan, that would be A20. And we're going to continue on this series. So in the next video I make, I'm going to go into the foundation plan and get into a little bit of inspection stuff also regarding footings and foundations and what the requirements are, not only what the plan shows us, but also requirements as far as the inspection process goes. So then if I zoom out, you can see that down here in the right-hand margin in the lower part is where you're going to see the sheet number as it's stated there, and this is A0.0. Then moving back over to the center and moving right again on the plan detail, you see the area efficiency calculations. So the area efficiency calculations are just going to tell you what the actual square footage is and what's finished, what's habitable, the different areas, an example, vehicle storage. It gives you the habitable spaces. And this architect even gives you in his remarks efficient usable space. So he's combining the square footages and looking at corridors as opposed to habitable space, and gives you some other information here. So this section might impact the permit costs. It might impact any kind of an appraisal. And again, it's something that has to be on a plan detail so you can determine what the costs are, and also so that you build it according to the square footages that you submitted under the permit. And then moving down on the page again, and I'll zoom out of here, you have the climatic and geographical design criteria. And these are going to be things like the ground snow load of that area, the wind design. So how did you design the build for the different speeds? And this architect actually gives you some great information as far as like what the speeds are considered in the ground snow load considerations in that area. It also talks about frost line, minimum frost line. So this is an area that's subject to freeze, this area of the country. Is it subject to termites? Yes. The winter design temp. So there's a lot of good information down here as you move along that is part of the climatic and geographical design criteria. It talks about is there a flood hazard and the mean temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. So zooming back out, you can see that we covered the abbreviations, the architectural drawing sheets, climatic and geographical design criteria, zoning analysis, area efficiency calcs, symbol legend, and also the governing codes of this jurisdiction. And then as I stated, on the right-hand margin, you're going to have other architectural information. What was the date of the permit? What set is this? Is this a revised set or is this the permitted set? You're going to have the information that you have here at the top, but you'll have this information in the right-hand margin. And then you have some more architectural information. And residential plan details and cover sheets are going to be similar to this. You might have some other information, and some of this information might not be on your set or the set you're looking at, or it might be a little bit different. But essentially, this is the introduction to the plan set. So this is the first thing that you want to look at, and it'll help you make sense of the different individual plan details as you go through the set. I hope this video helped you to better understand a cover sheet and the different sections of a cover sheet. The next video in the series will be foundations and footings, and I'll also include some inspection items with that, not just how we review it in a plan set, but also what are the inspection requirements. If you want a more detailed look at how to read a cover sheet, I have it on my website blog at buildingcodegeek.com, and I'll leave a link in the description so you can easily find that post. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and thanks for watching.